So, the bamboo printer has been working hard. What do you think it's working on? Well, this is a big project. I've hinted at it before. You're not going to see it for a while. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog. This is vlog number 400. Yay! Okay, there's supposed to be balloons. There they are, balloons. Yay! That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, and it is Monday, March the 17th, 2025. Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day today, isn't it? Almost forgot about it. Not that we celebrate it. We're not one of those kind of people that run off to the local pub and drink green beer and wear stupid green hats and try to pretend we're Irish and get everybody to kiss us. No, don't do that. Anyways, what I do is, oh, I said do. Anyways, what I did do this past week, yeah, that's got to be careful, really, is I've worked some more on the Barnstar sampler quilt. Here's a few more of the blocks. I think I'm now about to cut blocks for number 12 and 13. Yeah, it's a long process. More on it tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter. And let's look at another thing. Okay, this is the Steampunk Clutch by Sweet Pea Designs. There were a lot of problems with this, but I overcame them. Will I make another one? Well, I said when I finished this, I was never going to do another clutch. Guess what? Did another clutch. Yeah. This one I had less problems with, but I had one little problem that I will point out to you tomorrow and show you how I sort of fixed it. To the average person, they will never notice there's a little problem. But I will talk about that tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter as well, along with my fix, as I said. And I don't have a picture. Yeah, that's what I've been working on this week. So tune in tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter to hear a little bit more about these, especially these clutches, because they are a bitch. So if you want to do one, they are doable, but I will give you some tips and tricks about these. Actually, I already gave you some tips and tricks on So Chatty last week about it. So, yeah, but I didn't point out the little problem that I made on this one. Okay, enough rambling about clutches. I don't have any shoes to go with them anyway, so I won't be using them anytime soon. All right, so let's go right to the YouTube channel of the week. This is called Scaredketchup, and it's kind of a interesting little site, as you're going to see, but here's my review of it. This week's video of the week is comical, but yet it also is political, and it's from a YouTube creator called Scaredketchup, and they do a lot of AI generated shorts that feature people like Elon Musk, Trump, all that kind of stuff. And of course, it is all very sarcastic. It is funny, but at the same time, it makes you think too. It's very entertaining, as I've already said. But yeah, I really think they've done a wonderful job of this. And it's just too bad that we've come to a time in our history where these kind of videos can't be made and are being made. So if you want something that's a little different, something that will keep you entertained, something that is sarcastic, is a parody, is thought-provoking, then check out videos by Scaredketchup. So if you want to check out Scaredketchup, then the link is in the show notes below. I think you will find it very, very entertaining. Okay, and there are links for Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen. There will not be a Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen this week, Wednesday, March the 19th. Reason being is I am off with Walter to a guild in a place about an hour and a half to the east of us. I'm doing an in-person guild presentation. Cross your fingers, wish me luck on this one, because I am a little bit nervous about it. I am prepared as well as I can be with backup systems for the computer screens and everything that I need for this. Probably overkill. I'm hoping it is overkill. I'm hoping their system there. I will click into it and away we will go. But I never trust technology, especially when you're getting up in front of a group of people you do not know. I want to make sure everything runs smoothly. I want to look like a professional. Okay, put it that way. So that's why there will not be a Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen this coming Wednesday, but we will resume the following week. Okay, and you will find other useful links there and links to last week's videos as well if you need to catch up or if you care to catch up, or maybe you don't. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so let's take a look at what the weather's like here. And now I know down in the southern United States, you have been having horrendous weather with tornadoes, and it has taken some lives, which is very, very sad, and massive destruction. My heart goes out to you. But, you know, terrible thing. I think we got a bit of the leftovers from that, or it affected our weather a little bit up here, but nowhere near as extreme as it affected those people living down in Arkansas, Georgia, Missouri, Texas, all of those places down there. You know, I would put up with the cold here in Canada before I would move in a place where there's going to be tornadoes and stuff like that. Yeah, we're very lucky here when it comes to weather. We bitch about it, but when it's all said and done, we're pretty lucky. Okay, so here's what things are looking like outside my front door this morning. It is 7:15 in the morning. It looks like it's going to be cloudy, or it is cloudy. It's a little bit gray out there, and yeah, excuse me, cough is back. No snow. Well, a little bit here and there, but we've had rain for the last couple of days, and it's pretty much washed away the snow. And we can only hope that that's the end of the snow, but I wouldn't be so sure about that. Looking at the long distance forecast, well, currently it is -2 degrees Celsius with a high of 5. Ooh, balmy shorts weather. And doesn't look like there's any precipitation in the forecast until Thursday. And Thursday, that is rain, and it's going to be 10 degrees C, so that's definitely rain. Friday is sunny at 7. And then the weekend's kind of cloudy, but no precipitation. And there is no precipitation right up to a week from this Wednesday, except for that bit on the coming Thursday. So yeah, I think it may be safe to say that spring has sprung. Yeah. So hope things are better in the area that where you got all the tornadoes, and I'm hoping that everybody else is getting some spring weather or nice weather. Be nice to have some nice weather. It's been a tough winter, hasn't it? Okay. So that takes me to what's pissing me off this week. And you notice in my title, I talked about the media overload. And it is. It is right now, everything you turn on is about Trump. And I'm tired of it. And I know you are too. Yep. Everybody is so sick and tired of this. We're tired of the unknown. We're tired of the stories. We're tired of his tomfoolery, which is really a mild way of putting it as the hell he's putting us through and all that stuff. I mean, come on. But you watch the media. Now, we used to watch the media, the news, to see what's going on in the world. But it seems, well, not seems, it is. It's just, you turn it on, it's about Trump. You've got his supporters on one side telling you lies. You've got other people, the real people, telling you what damage and horrible things this is going to do to the United States, to Canada, to the rest of the world, basically. So you turn it off, you go to reliable YouTube. You're there searching around for some kitty videos, because I like the kitty videos, or 3D printing, or embroidery, or quilting, or sewing, and all that, and all I get is Trump. Everything is about Trump. You go to the home button, it's just loaded. Trump, Trump, Trump. And the whole problem with all of this, besides the point that it's about Trump, is you don't know who to believe. If you go down the rabbit's hole and start watching all of these things, you're going to come up with so much conflicting information, so much spin, you just don't know what to believe. You cannot rely on any source of information anymore to be reliable, to be the truth. It's all, to coin a phrase from him, it's all fake news. And it is. Because they're trying to get your attention. The other thing that they're doing on the media, especially on YouTube, if they're monetized, and they are, is they're hawking their products. They get sponsorships. So they're advertising bed in a box, or tablets that clean your sink, or other products out there. Sponsorships for all of this kind of thing. Excuse me. And they sit there and they tell you that they're trying to look like they're a legitimate news source. And in the middle of that legitimate news source, they interrupt you for a sponsor commercial. Or they're pleading to you to get them up to over 5 million viewers or something like that, which makes me question the reliability from that standpoint of what they're telling you. Because are they just monopolizing on this situation? And the media is. The media is obviously monopolizing on this. They want us glued to those televisions and to our screens for all of this, because the longer we're sitting in front of a screen watching all of this crap, the more they can sell us or hook us in for this, that, or the other thing. So I'm really pissed off at that. And what does that say about our world? Well, one of my subscribers I've known for quite a while, she always says that's why she prefers horses and dogs over humans. And I have to agree with her. Humans are generally horrible individuals. They are. If we've ever needed to have aliens come to this planet and take things over, it's now. It might wake us up to a few things. Maybe it would bring us together as a world, rather than the conflict and everything we're going through right now and have been going through for quite a while. I don't know. All I know is that I'm pissed off with it. So what am I going to do about it? You're going to say, well, there's not much I can do, but I can take back my control and my sanity. How? Turn it off. Don't watch it. Do a deep search on YouTube for the kitty videos. Lately, I've been watching the Bondi Vet. And there's cute little stories. There's sweet little animals that are being, brought back to health. It's very heartwarming. And I have mentioned that one to you last week as well. I concentrate more on users or creators, content creators, that I have not been aware of before. I deliberately do a search. I go in, put in my search terms. If anything comes up that's got Trump on it, I bypass it and go to what I'm really looking at. Well, yeah, I'm tempted to watch the Trump one because, they have clickbait in their titles. And it makes you curious. And curious minds want to know. So, yeah, I am so tempted to click on it. But then I say to myself, but wait, it's just the same old thing. I get what I need to get about the situation from the evening news on my local channel. Even though they're spinning it to a certain extent, they curb their enthusiasm. Okay, if you know what I mean. They try, at least, to give you a little bit more of a logical presentation of the situation. Now, of course, they are a media outlet. They want the money, so they do their version of a spin, but it's less of a spin than a lot of the ones that are on YouTube. Because, the big media companies here in Canada don't depend on being monetized on YouTube for their revenue. But, again, I guess it's a case of buyer beware. You have to second guess everything you hear. That isn't, and when I say second guess, I don't mean doubt, really. I mean, be critical. Be a critical thinker. I think that's the term I want to use. Think about the logic of what's being told to you. It is a crazy time, and sometimes logic right now is being stretched to the limit. I mean, every time Trump opens his mouth, you just your mouth opens, your jaw opens, you go, what? How the hell could he actually do something like that? I mean, it's astounding. It really is. But we also just get away from it. I guess that's the bottom line. Just only consume small, limited amounts of this information for the sake of your sanity. For the sake of your sanity, really. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that's the media, what it's doing to us. Don't let it get to you too much because, well, what's the end result? We all go crazy. And I think there should be a new term for insanity. We'll just call it, we'll all go Trump. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Grow lights. As you know, they bring me happiness. You're probably getting tired of seeing these plants every week, but I don't care. It brings me happiness, and I'm going to show it to you. So, lettuce. Yes, let us look at the lettuce, shall we? It's coming along. This is, though, getting to the point where I think it's time to do some cleanup and some more planting. And the same over here. Basil, though, still going crazy. And you see these yellow sticky things? Those are little bugs. Yeah, little gnats. They come out of the soil. I've noticed lately they've kind of went dormant over the last couple of months, probably because of the weather, the cold. But they're starting to raise their little ugly heads again. And as I always like to say to them, go into the yellow, go into the yellow. Yeah, stick there and die. But we've tried everything. And yeah, nothing seems to work. And we've had many of you make suggestions of different homemade spray things you can do. We've tried those. They really don't do anything either. These little buggers are, you know, tough. But anyways, we're coexisting. The peppers. They are a beautiful thing. And we have finally started to harvest some of them and eat them. And I have to tell you this. They taste different than the grocery store ones. Maybe it's psychological because you grow them yourself, but we also know there is no insecticide on them. There's no fertilizer. There's no chemicals. These are pure, bite into one right off the vine. Well, I don't do that, but you know, but they're great. They're coming along and we're enjoying them. And again, we need to get some more of them started. Of course, you can see it's time to probably change that little yellow sticky thing. We have lots of them because they do love the peppers, those little gnats. They don't actually eat them, but they hang out with them. And this just gives you an idea of our pepper jungle in there. And if you look carefully, you can see peeking out under all this foliage, this little tropical rainforest here, are peppers. So peppers do well under grow lights. They really do. You have to be patient. They take 3 to 4 months before you'll get anything that you can harvest, but they're just a lovely plant too. Very, very green, very luscious. Okay, so new products. I think that's, yeah, new products. Well, I got some stuff from Temu. I am trying not to buy from Amazon right now for obvious reasons. But so I go to Temu. Yeah, you're going to say Temu is China. Yes, it is. But we here in Canada aren't fighting with China. Okay. So I feel confident that I can order from China. And as you've heard me say before, I have never really been disappointed with anything I've ever ordered from Temu. I have a big order on Temu right now that'll come in another week's time or so. That's the only thing I don't like about Temu is it takes, about 2 weeks before you get your stuff. So you don't want to be in a rush. whereas we're all been spoiled by Amazon, of course, you know, same day, next day delivery kind of thing if you have Prime. But Amazon is evil. So we're not buying. As Canadians, we're trying to stay away from the evil purchases or the things that will support what the great pumpkin is trying to do to us. So anyways, off of that, let's go here. So what is this little case, you may say? Well, it's tools. It's a whole set of different types of pliers. Now, why did I buy this? Well, one, the price was really reasonable. I think they were about $12 or something like that, Canadian. Comes in this nice little case. They're fairly good quality, I'll have to say that. And I bought them to remove supports and things that I do on my 3D prints. Supports, somebody asked me the other day what supports are on 3D prints. Well, basically, they're extra pieces of plastic that hold up things that otherwise would be printing in air, and that creates spaghetti. When your filament has nothing to stick to, it just goes all over the place like silly string or whatever. But sometimes these supports can be difficult to get off without breaking the part you've created. So these I bought so I can get into little nooks and crannies, and they're different sizes and different things you can do with them for cutting out these supports. So that's why I bought this kit. I looked at these kits on Amazon back in the day, and they can be very, very pricey. And for my purposes, I don't need something that is of the finest quality. But I have to say, I think the quality for these is really good, and considering I paid like about $10-12 for them, bonus, even better. So yeah, that's what I bought from Temu. And as I said, I put in a big order for LED lights. Because I'm making these different models that take lights now on my 3D printer, LED lights are not expensive, but on Temu, they're even less expensive. So I wasn't sure exactly which ones I wanted, so I bought a whole bunch. Yeah. And I think I spent about $35, and I have all of these different types coming, and I figure, yeah, can you ever have too many LED lights? Well, if you looked around this room, you would see, yeah, I have quite a few. Yeah. Which reminds me, are the ones behind me working? They're not on. Oh, I know why. Because I told Echo to turn off my overhead light over there because it gets in the way, and they're on that same circuit. Okay, I digress. So speaking of 3D printing, let's talk about what I have been doing on my 3D printers, and I've been doing lots of things, as you will see. So let me get up my picture. Of course, Easter's coming up, and so you have to have Easter bunnies. So these are really tiny little guys, and they will fit, well, I'll show you here, the palm of my hand. Okay, here's the size of these bunnies. What am I going to do with these bunnies? I'm going to put them inside those dragon eggs that I made also for Easter that I showed you a week ago. I thought they'd be kind of a cute little surprise. My idea for those dragon eggs is to fill them with M&Ms, and on top of the M&Ms will be a little articulated mini dragon I showed you last week, and these little bunnies. Just for fun. Just for fun. Just a little surprise. Yeah. So I made a whole bunch of those, and they turned out pretty cool. And this guy. Yes, I know. It's another dragon. I'm obsessed with gnomes, and I'm obsessed with dragons right now. And this guy was an older model, but it had been updated to take advantage of my new printer, my Bamboo X1 Carbon, that has an AMS, the Automatic Material Supply System. And that changes colors automatically. I think he's really, really pretty. And he took a while. He took a day to print, 24 hours. But the end result, I think, was well worth it. And do I have any more to show you? No, that's everything that I've been making, except that I want to talk for a minute about repairs. Yes. Now, I have not had, knock wood, I haven't had a moment's worry with the new printer, the bamboo printer. You can see it over this shoulder over here, sitting over there. But my other ones, my older ones, the KEs, which are right here, they've been running fine. But I discovered something that has increased my productivity greatly. And that is I can print on them wirelessly. What do I mean by that? I can go on my computer that I'm on right now, slice up, get it all ready, any of the things I'm going to print, and I can send them to the printers and start the print without going to the printer. I can do it from my computer. Before this, I had to do all the stuff I need to do to prepare the print, copy the file over to an SD, a micro SD card, and shove it into the printer, pull it up onto the printer, and away we go. Now I can bypass that step by doing it directly from my printer or computer. Now, I always knew I had the capability to do that, but you had to go through Creality's proprietary slicer in order to do it, and it was extremely cumbersome and not very reliable. So after I got the first KE and tried that for a while and played with it, I decided, all the time I'm spending trying to make this thing work the way I want it to work is not worth it. I will just go back to using the micro SD cards. And that's what I've been doing. Well, the bamboo is flawless in the way that it will go from my computer wirelessly to the printer. I can control it. There's a camera built inside the actual printer, so you can watch your print, you can check it. It is such a more sophisticated system than what these KEs from Creality are. And lately, I've been using the slicer Bamboo Studio to slice my files for the KEs as well, instead of using Cura Slicer. Because the Bamboo Slicer I like better than Cura. It's more logically laid out, and it does more things as well. So one day I got the idea, I wonder if I can slice files for the KE with it, and I can. There's a couple of little setup things I had to do, but once those were done, fine, no problem. So, and I think I'm getting better quality print jobs too from using the Bamboo Studio slicer. But then for some reason, one day, last week, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, well, my KE printers are all hooked into the network here. And the Bamboo Studio is meant for sending files wirelessly. Can I do it that way? Yes, I can. Well, what you do is, and I never thought of this before, is there's an ID, or an IP address, they call it. All things that run wirelessly in your house have IP addresses, which tells your router which device you happen to be using. Each one of the 4 KEs each have their own unique IP address for my network. So I thought, okay, if I plug in the IP address into my browser, will it come up with it? Will it recognize it? Oh yeah. Not only does it recognize it, it comes up with a special page for controlling that particular printer. So all you do is you import the file that you've done on Bamboo Studio onto this web page, hit a button, say print, it sends it to the printer, and away it goes. It's beautiful. It's a great thing. Oh, I did the happy dance when I discovered that, and that's how I do it from now on. And I just open up a window for each one of the printers, and away I go. Now, I know to most of you, this is going to sound definitely like 3D printer geek stuff, and it is. And, well, you'll never be able to understand unless you're a 3D printer geek. My joy in discovering this. And those of you that are experienced 3D printers are laughing at me right now and going, oh, come on. You didn't know you could do that? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Always learning, always learning. So yeah, that was the highlight of my week last week when I discovered that. Okay, so I think that's all I need to say about 3D printing, except that I have been working on the theater that I showed you last week. It's still printing pieces for it. Yes, it takes a long time. I'm getting there. My printer right now is madly working. You can see lights going off inside of it over there. On the next piece, I think I'm up to what they call plate 23. Not to get into a long, involved discussion of this, but the Bamboo Studios and this particular model puts each of the pieces on their own separate bed plate. You see that graphically on your computer screen, and you do it plate by plate. So I'm at plate 23, and I've been keeping track of how many hours each piece takes because the slicer program does tell me that, and I'm going to add them all up at the end and let you know how long the theater, when I have it finished, how many hours it has taken from beginning to end to do it, to finish it. And I am so in love with this FULV. I don't know how you say that title, but it's the gentleman that creates, I shouldn't say gentleman because I don't know, it could be a lady, because there's lots of women who are into 3D printing. This is just not a man's domain here. Either way, they have created this. They have spent hours and hours, and they make beautiful, beautiful things. So what I did the other day was I went onto the site, 3D Cults is what it's called, and I took a screenshot of each one of the models that are available. So I now have a visual reference, and my plan over this year is to, after I get one done, I'm going to buy another one, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to fill my house with these suckers. That is going to be a bit of a problem. I have two in our family room upstairs right now. I can think of two potential places for more. Then we'll have to move into the formal living room and dining room. I am obsessed. But they're so beautiful, and they're so much fun to make. And with the Bamboo X1 Carbon, not sponsored by the way, I kind of was looking at, though, how I could be, but because I've never done a sponsorship before, as you know. But anyways, I don't think that'll happen. But yeah, with the Bamboo printer and all of these, I am just so in love with 3D printing more than I've ever been before. And you know, I really am itching to get a second one. Yeah. And slowly but surely retire my KEs. Yeah. Because they're working fine right now, knock wood. But I don't, it's just, they're not Bamboo. Okay, enough of all of that. So let's turn our attention to an old video clip from a old edition of Stephen Walter Live. And, I've been talking about 3D printing, and a lot of these things I'm printing are a form of art as well. And we kind of got into art when I had retired and I volunteered to work as a docent at our local art gallery. And Walter got involved with that too. And it gave us really a new appreciation for art. So when we travel now, we do make a point of going to some art galleries or to some museums with art and that to check them all out. But here are our thoughts about art from back, I think it was 2017. It says, my first go at going to the Tate Modern was hard for me to look around. Yeah, we've been to the Tate Modern too.
I didn't really like that gallery that much.
No, but when we go this time to England, what's that new gallery? It wasn't there when we went in 2014.
It was the Design Museum or something, and it's I don't know what it's got in it, but it sounds kind of interesting. But it opened in 2016. Supposedly there was a smaller version of it near London Bridge, or either Tower Bridge or London Bridge, but it wasn't very well visited because a lot of people didn't know about it. So
Meliart says, we also have Kasma Modern Art Museum at Helsinki. Have been there a few times, and I just don't get it. Yeah, so I assume what we're talking about is abstract art, or actually,
I never really liked it that much when I went to it when I was younger, but since going to the RMG on a more regular basis, I think I've developed more of an appreciation for it.
I think because once I got into art journaling and mixed media, things like that, I think I had a better appreciation for abstract art then.
I mean, there's some things that you see and you kind of wonder.
Well,
really.
Yeah. Well, that's
but I guess that's just the way it is.
It's people will stand there and they'll look at abstract art and go, oh, so you just stand back 2 feet and throw paint on the canvas. Anybody can do that. And I used to be one of those kind of people too that would thought the same thing in my head. Oh, look, 3 attractive stripes. Why did the Canadian government pay $3.2 million for that? The huge painting of 3 stripes that hangs now in
the National Gallery.
The National Gallery in Canada with it. But sit down and try, if you've never ever tried, to do abstract art. It's not easy. It's really not. So, and Ian says, I love doing modern abstract art, but don't always connect with it. Yeah, well, it could be the color, it could be the line, the geometric shapes, whatever in it. Not every piece of art's going to appeal to everybody. That's the reason it's an art world. That's why people criticize it.
Last year when we were in Australia, we went into one place and they had all these bowls full of water.
Right. Oh yeah.
And I'm the one that's telling people in an art gallery not to touch the art,
that
right?
Was good.
So, but I didn't realize they had water in the bowls, right? So they just were looking, they were sort of concave. I don't know why I did it, but I put my finger and touched the water, and the water all started rippling. And the gallery attendant that was there was too busy looking at her phone, so she didn't see it. But she walked around and noticed that the water was rippling in one of the pools, and she was looking around. But it was
saying,
I don't know.
It's like in a grocery store, if you accidentally knock something off a shelf, you move very quickly away from it and hope that the old lady down the end is going to get blamed for it.
So next week there'll be another clip. Let me know in the comments whether or not this is just a waste of my time, you really don't care, or if you find that, these are amusing or interesting to you. I don't know. Or do you think I'm just being self-indulgent? I probably am. But, let me know. Okay, so that brings us pretty much to the end of the episode, except events in the past week. Well, Walter enabled me to spend some money this week, and it doesn't take much. You know that in May, we are going on a trip. We're going to Holland for a couple of weeks. And when we get over there, we're going to be taking the train everywhere. And that means you don't want to be lugging a big, heavy suitcase on the train. And Walter's been doing some research and watching some videos and things about this. And Rick Steves, who you've probably heard of, he is a famous travel guru. He recommends taking a small backpack kind of thing. And because it'll fit in the overhead on the trains. They do have spots on the trains for putting your suitcases, but you might not be sitting very close to them. And we're very conscious right now that there is a lot of theft happening in Europe. Actually, anywhere you go, when you're a tourist, there's always people who want to rip you off. Pickpocketing is a big thing too. I mean, we've traveled a lot. We're kind of aware of that, but right now, given the state of what the world is like, you don't need to lose your undies. That kind of thing. I don't know why they'd want that. And we just bought brand new suitcases a couple of months ago and haven't even used them yet. And now it looks like we're probably not going to use them because what he enabled me to buy were 2 things. One is a small backpack kind of thing that will easily, you can carry with you. It's a carry-on kind of thing. So on the airplane, I like to take my iPad and some of my other electronic things in that, and I like to have my carry-on small enough that I can put it under the seat rather than in the overhead, because you know what it's like when you get on these airplanes. People don't want to check their bags, so they bring what they call carry-ons, and they're not, they're regular suitcases, and the airline lets them get away with it, and then they get on the plane and they cram it into the spot where your seat is, and there's no room for your stuff. So I like it better, and because I'm short, I can't reach the damn things anyways, the ones over the overhead storage on the airplane. So I put it under my seat. So these that we have purchased, we haven't got them yet, should do the trick. I shouldn't say, Walter's already had one, so I know what they're like, and I thought, yep, this is what I should have too. So that was one way he enabled me. Then we've decided that we're going to get these other travel packs. They are a backpack, but they don't have to be a backpack. And they have all kinds of security things built into their zippers and whatnot. And you can check them like a regular suitcase on a plane, which is what we'll do. And you don't have to worry about the straps getting in the way, because these ones are designed that the straps can be hidden in a special pocket on the back of the bag. So these look good. Yes, we'll have to be very conscious as to what we take for clothes, but you know, I always overpack. And over the years, I've managed to pack less and less. And so I will do that for this trip as well. And you know, one of the places we're going to be in Holland, about halfway through or so of our trip, there is facilities for doing a laundry, and we may take advantage of that if we need to. We need some clean undies, so we will do that, okay? Or go without. Enough about that. Okay, so yeah, so now these bags, Walter bought one, I bought one. These are the bigger ones, plus the smaller one that I bought. And plus, these come from Rick Steves, and they're his designs, and so there's this set of cubes. And I love packing cubes. I have a set of packing cubes I use in my suitcases all the time. Just keeps everything organized in your suitcase, and you know, things aren't falling all over the place when you open up your suitcase. So I love them. So now the ones I have might work in what we've bought, but I'm not sure. But these ones that he has on his site are designed to fit in these particular bags. So I said to Walter, let's get those as well. So we did. So that's all ordered. Maybe we'll see them this week. I don't know for sure. I will make a confession. We had to buy them from the States because Rick Steves is American, and so is his company. And that behooved us, but to be honest, we looked and we couldn't find anything that was comparable to these. And so we're biting the bullet and we're buying them from the States. And yes, we have to pay duty on them. We have to pay taxes on them, all that kind of stuff. So it is costing us a pretty penny. It's costing us more than what the new suitcases cost us. So, yeah. But I mentioned it before. It is very difficult to buy 100% Canadian because our two economies are very much tied together. So I'll show you what we bought when I get them. And of course, what's coming up this week? Well, the Guild presentation. I'm a little nervous, as you know, about that. I will survive with it. So yeah, that's on Wednesday. Okay, I think that's it for me. I've rambled enough on here today. Tune into the Idiot Quilter tomorrow if you're interested in those clutches and what I have to say about those. And I have some things to show you tomorrow as well. Actually, I have lots of things to show you tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter. Some gadgets that I just bought for sewing and quilting, and well, lots of things. So Chatty, this week we're doing a special bag show. We just finished up this past week our series on the quilted patchwork bag done in the hoop on your embroidery machine, and we're going to finally see Walter's finished bag. Maybe. Yeah, it's not done yet. As at the time of recording this, he's still not finished. Yeah, he gets distracted. Or as he likes to put it, he has to be in the mood. Yeah. Um, so we're gonna have a bag show and show you some bags that we have made in the past, different types. So that'll be all there. And if you have suggestions for So Chatty as far as what we can develop for another series, please let us know, because we need to develop something for the future. And of course, Stephen and Walter Live. In this past week, we continued our FYI Canada, and we talked about the history. It was a kind of a brief, condensed history of Canada. Next week, we're going to talk about our education system, which I can tell you is better than the American system. Don't believe me? Tune in to Stephen and Walter Live on Sunday, and you'll find out why I say that. Okay, that's it. Hope you have a great week. Hope the weather cooperates with you wherever you are, and we'll see you later. Bye for now.